This video follows on from the one that I did about cetaceans in captivity, called What Blackfish Did for Captive Whales and Dolphins. Whilst public opinion surrounding the ethics of orca and dolphin shows has drastically changed in the West, China is actually building more dolphinariums. China Cetacean Alliance, which is a coalition of international animal protection and conservation organisations, such as Whale and Dolphin Conservation, the Environment and Animal Society Taiwan, and the Hong Kong Dolphin Conservation Society, published a report in 2015 stating that there were 39 ocean theme parks and 14 under construction. In the second edition of this report, published in 2019, there are now 80 ocean theme parks. That is 41 more ocean theme parks, and there are another 13 under construction. As you can see from the map, most parks are situated on the east coast of China. It is estimated that about 1,001 cetaceans are held captive in these ocean theme parks. There is thought to be 13 different species, with bottlenose dolphins and beluga whales being the most commonly held species. The report states that it is difficult to obtain detailed information on the numbers currently held, how many have died, or the number that have been captured in the wild, as there are no publicly available information sources. There are thought to be 15 orcas held captive in China, distributed between 4 ocean parks. The first orcas were displayed in November 2018 at Shanghai Ocean Park, but only 4 of them. The others are not yet on show. An ocean theme park manager has been reported as saying that this was due to the international condemnation that it would bring, and indeed, there was a significant amount of public criticism both from within China and internationally when the orcas had their debut. According to the Chinese Cetacean Alliance, all 15 orcas were imported from Russia. In my video on what Blackfish has done for captive whales and dolphins, I went into detail about the whale gel that was discovered in a bay in Russia's Far East. It contained 11 orcas and 87 beluga whales, caught by Russian companies, and it was believed that these beautiful creatures were destined for China. Due to the amazing intervention of the Russian government, the cetaceans were released back into the wild, and the government has promised to change the law that currently allows the capture of cetaceans for educational and cultural purposes. If the Russian government stick to their promise, China's source of belugas and orcas will cease, and hopefully they will not be able to find another one. However, not the same can be said about their source of dolphins. Between September and March every year, the fishermen in Japan's coastal town of Taiji gather to slaughter hundreds of dolphins. They drive the dolphins into a small cove, trapping the creatures. Many are then killed using knives and can take up to 30 minutes to die a painful death. The dolphin meat is sold locally, but the demand for it is small. The real profit is not from the dolphins that are slaughtered, but those which are sold to China for their ocean parks and also to other places around the world. Whilst the hunt is taking place, members of the Dolphin Project monitor the process. For the 2019 to 2020 season, they can confirm that a total of 130 drives took place involving 8 species of dolphin. They estimated 560 dolphins were slaughtered and 180 were taken captive. Many more have died as a result of the drives themselves, but their numbers are never recorded. Dolphin trainers reportedly come to the cove to select the most beautiful dolphins for capture. If there was no demand for captive dolphins, there wouldn't be enough money to fund these drives, and the whole grisly process would cease to continue. At the ocean parks, it is not just shows performing tricks for people's enjoyment that the cetaceans are subjected to, but also other various activities, such as having their photographs taken with visitors, and close contact interactions, such as kissing and touching. It is also possible to dive with the cetaceans and even have an underwater wedding in the presence of the cetaceans. In June 2018, a video from a marine park in China was released showing a beluga whale having lipstick applied to its snout. The video clip resulted in public outrage, and the park issued an apology that it would improve its management and strengthen staff training on their awareness of animal protection. All of this must add to the overall stress of being in captivity. There is a very small ray of light amongst all of this tragedy. Ocean Park in Hong Kong has stopped their live animal shows as part of their strategic redevelopment plan. They have stopped the Ocean Wonder Show and are focusing on educational presentations and interactive programs themed around marine conservation. Unfortunately, they are continuing with dolphin encounters where visitors can pay to feed and have photographs taken with the dolphins. The heroes of ocean parks in China is Qingfeng Ocean World in Shanghai, which was taken over in 2012 by Merlin Entertainments, a British-based company. It has been looking to rehome its two beluga whales, Little Grey and Little White, and has managed to achieve this very recently. The two whales were moved to the world's first open water sanctuary for belugas on Friday the 7th of August this year. The Sea Life Trust Beluga Sanctuary is situated in Iceland in a large bay, which has an area measuring 32,000 metres squared and is 9 metres deep. The aim is to give formerly captive beluga whales a safe and more natural home and to encourage the rehabilitation of more captive whales into natural environments, eventually bringing an end to whale and dolphin entertainment shows. It has been a very long journey for the two beluga whales. It started in June 2019 when they first arrived at the Icelandic Heimaey Island after travelling 6,000 miles, a journey which took 30 hours to complete. Little Grey and Little White were transferred to a special care pool for assessment following their journey. Here they were trained to hold their breath for longer, become physically stronger to cope with tides and currents, and have gradually been acclimatised to cooler water. Their calorie intake has also been increased to help them put on extra blubber to keep them insulated against the colder conditions. On August the 7th of this year, they were then moved to the bay care area. This is the first time they have been in the sea for 9 years. Their final release into the waters of the entire bay will be in about a month's time. They have not been in the sea since 2011, when they were moved from an ocean whale research centre to the ocean park. This is such exciting news, and hopefully the start of rehoming the many captive cetaceans that remain in aquariums around the world. The Chinese government, like other governments, do have regulations on the treatment of captive cetaceans. These regulations provide clear guidance that, and I quote, "No harm must come to animals during their capture, import and use." If you read the China Cetacean Alliance report, you can see that there is much evidence to show that the protocols put in place in China's ocean parks to protect these animals from harm are not adequate or simply not followed. There is inadequate training of dolphin trainers and veterinary staff, as well as poor management and a lack of appropriate facilities. These have all contributed to incidents of abuse, injuries and illness, which of times have led to the death of the cetacean. The facilities that cetaceans are confined to do not meet the complex physiological and behavioural needs of cetaceans, causing further suffering to these beautiful creatures. However, public awareness within China about the welfare issues surrounding the capture and incarceration of cetaceans is growing. The industry and the government are aware that public opposition, both within China and internationally, is having a negative impact on the industry and on China's image. The brutal capture of dolphins by Japan during the annual slaughter of the dolphins off the coastal town of Taiji, and the capture of belugas and orcas by the Russians in 2018 and their subsequent release, has highlighted the fact that China is the main market for these animals and has given China a negative public image. Let us hope that with continued education and international condemnation, that the capture of the wild cetaceans will be banned, that conditions for the cetaceans in captivity will improve, and that eventually the cetaceans can be rehomed in sanctuaries like the one in Iceland. Ultimately, there will be no more cetaceans to be found in any ocean park throughout the world. Mankind should be so much better than this.